All right. What's up, everybody? We have got the opening match for these two players in Group D of PiGFest. MaxPax's down here in the bottom left side, representing Sidestorm Gaming. He's up against Prep Esports Classic, recently departing from Alpha Rex, joining Prep. And, ooh, MaxPax is the king of the one-gate expand. Now, a lot of people will look at this match on paper and say Classic doesn't stand a chance. And I gotta say, you're all wrong. MaxPax might be a god of PvP who makes a lot of players look silly, but if Classic's done his homework, which he absolutely should have, because honestly, if you're a Protoss player who wants to get better at PvP and you're not studying MaxPax, who the hell are you and what are you doing? But it's also the fact that Classic came back from the military last year and immediately was almost having some very good runs in tournaments. The only thing stopping him was Zest, and Zest is a player that was giving MaxPax so many problems at that time as well. So he was smashing MaxPax for a period. MaxPax did start getting the better of him eventually, but he barely stopped Classic in a few of those GSL runs. So we haven't got to see as much Classic as we really deserve to have. And both players are going one-gate expand. MaxPax is known as the king of the one-gate expand. He's often credited with really producing that meta. Stargate goes down in the wall-off for both sides. It's going to help you defend a little bit there. Probe does start patrolling around that main base. So it looks like Classic commits to the pylon. MaxPax, on the other hand, skips it for now. But if he comes down and pops a pylon down, he could delay it. Don't think there's much reason to, though, because the Zealot and the Stalker is there. The thing is Classic, you're not going to Cybercore, are you? Oh, he does lose the probe there. But you know what? He's lost 75 minerals. MaxPax has lost none. This is the beauty of MaxPax one-gate expand. He's also up 2 workers. So he's built a few extra workers, whereas you can see that Classic missed a little bit more mining time during this. Now, because they both know they've gone Stargate, this should force a Phoenix War. But MaxPax not willing to play the Phoenix War. Classic doing the standard Phoenix War situation. MaxPax doesn't, and MaxPax is going to win this trade. Ooh, this is actually not a good move for Classic, sending the Zealot across the map. I guess he just wants to scout the Stargate. Oh, can he see the Stargate? Oh, MaxPax microing that Stalker, but... oh, he sees it. It's an Oracle. Okay, it's worth it. That means, and the Phoenix is going to fly straight across the map. He wants to catch the Oracle immediately. Oracle taking evasive maneuvers, moving to the right side. It's trying to get around that Phoenix. Phoenix comes in. It does see the opponent is now building Phoenix as well. Classic should go home with that Phoenix and make sure he shuts down the enemy unit. The Zealot of MaxPax working its way in. Zealot plus Stalker focusing. That's going to keep the Phoenix occupied at the front. The Oracle's going to dive the main. Classic's battery a few seconds late. A few seconds is all he needs. MaxPax gets 3 worker kills. And he's also killing the pylon as well. Oh my god. Oh my god. And now he's just in there and tearing it up. And MaxPax, the king of one-gate expands for a reason. Dude, oh my god, he always just has these details so well ironed out. What a one-sided bop. Alright, well that was a smashing Game 1 victory for MaxPax. Some wise members of Twitch chat pointing out that's the cost for losing the scouting probe, because then he felt he needed to send the Zealot across to check if it was Oracle or Phoenix. Then he loses the Zealot. MaxPax says, hey, I've got a Zealot and a Stalker, you've only got a Zealot. Distracts the Phoenix with that. The Oracles come in. Big mistakes for Classic, and MaxPax, of course, does get an advantage. Now, Classic's going for what appears to be 2-gate, but he could very well just go for 1-gate and then still expand to the low ground behind it. Just do a 1-gate high ground. So he's not going for the second gas just yet. Okay, there we go. Does pop it down. Both probes crossing each other on the map. You can see both sides perfectly doubling up their workers, and MaxPax delaying his second gas a moment here, so he's not prioritizing that. I imagine he'll be building a second pylon very quickly. And he comes in and sees the 2-gate opening from Classic, so MaxPax is going to be happy that he has that information. A lot of players, I think, are very paranoid against a 2-gate opening, worried about the all-ins. MaxPax has shown in the past, though, that he's so confident defending that. You can see this probe blocking this expansion. Classic does not want to let that get up, but it is very important you keep that probe alive. A Zealot had not started up, so yeah, I mean, his second pylon's really late, is MaxPax in this game. Interesting that he chose to do it this way. His probe is also harassing in the main base. Notice he was denying this mineral patch entirely for a little bit there. MaxPax with some great micro. Hidden second pylon for Classic. Ooh, I like that. So MaxPax is going to be like, hey, where's your second pylon? Are you proxying me? Classic needs to keep him guessing. When you're playing 2-gate versus a 1-gate expand player, you can deny this for a while, but eventually it will come up. And so as Classic, yeah, he's got to keep that probe alive for sure. Cannot be losing this probe. Something I've even started doing in PvP in my games is pulling an extra probe every now and then if it goes behind my mineral line, just to get an extra hit in. And like there, that probe could have killed it. Zealot is going to start tearing it down. Stargate has gone up in the main. Classic has now seen that Stargate, and he'll confirm it in a moment. Notice he's about to click on that. There we go. You see that red circle? Was him clicking on it, seeing that it's a Stargate. Now he's going to see if he can get his probe out just before the Stalker pops. Should be a good move. He even confirms that there is a Nexus. So far, 2 Stalkers are out, a 3rd Stalker and a 4th Stalker starts up as well. Classic looking to expand behind a 4 Stalker pressure. The problem is, if he sees that you've got a Nexus, MaxPax just gets way ahead on the workers because he's also got an Oracle pressuring you. Classic, his Stalker's coming out, will deny that probe. Doesn't actually see the Nexus, but I think he can probably assume. Then again, Classic's not got that many workers, only 23. The Stalkers are going to run forward here, but look at that. With the probe in the wall, he could block it off if he tries to chase. This is actually really good handling by MaxPax to try and buy time, but it's not going to be enough. The Zealot is going to try and chase out these Stalkers. Classic answering with some aggression of his own. Very nicely done. The Stalker's going to get some damage done on that Oracle. The Oracle tries to chase it down, gets one of them, has to pull back to the shield battery. And behind it, a 2nd gateway on the way. Void Rate being forced out. But probes are started for Classic. They're started so very late, though. He's going Twilight and probes, but he's already down 3 workers. And with this Nexus finishing even earlier, he needs to keep his opponent guessing, but MaxPax flies in, sees the Nexus, and he's probably going to chrono probes and just hold that probe key down now that he sees the Nexus from his enemy. Classic, though, if he gets rid of that, that'd be pretty good. Does see the Twilight Council and the Blink upgrading. If you lose the Oracle, you lose all your scouting. You have to keep this alive as MaxPax. Very important. Remember, this is US West server, so this is Classic's map preference or server preference on Cosmic Sapphire. And MaxPax is going to be going up into his own Twilight Council and 4 gateways. But I think he needs to play to a 3rd base because his Blink will be so late, he can't really do anything aggressive with it. Blink is on the way for Classic. He's got 3 Stalkers in the main base. He sees the Oracle come in. And the Oracle gets 1 hit on a probe, but that's it. Good mature usage of that, realizing keeping it alive is the priority for MaxPax. MaxPax putting up a forward pilot. Is he going to take the gold base? Surely not. DT Shrine does go down, but there's a Robo on the way for Classic as well. MaxPax setting up a pylon to warp DTs in. Interesting. It is still just the 2 gateways for Classic, but he's way up on units. 7 Stalkers, 2 Sentries versus just 4. That'll change as the 4 gateways kick in, though. 3rd base is going to go up in the normal position for MaxPax in a little while. Revelation comes down. MaxPax, of course, realizes Blink could be done, and as a result, his Oracle's playing super conservative. He's just going to use that for the occasional tag, maybe start dropping stasis traps with it. Stalker count finally in favor of MaxPax, but his Blink is still about a minute out. Stalker Sentry gathering an Observer on the way. The DT Shrine is almost finished. Look at the scouting for Classic. Will he see this proxy down here? He does. That's really useful. That alone tells you there's a good chance your opponent is going to be trying to warp in some DTs there. So he splits off the Observer for Stalkers. You almost want him to start warping in the DTs before you show the Stalkers, right? It's kind of unfortunate for Classic. If he caught the warp in, would be some free kills. Leave some of the units up here. MaxPax coming forward, but good pullbacks. Remember, there's no battery overcharge available till the Nexus finishes. The rest of the Stalkers do quickly come back. Oracle going into the main base. There's only 1 Stalker there, but the Oracle's so wounded that it should be able to defend it just fine. 1 Sentry goes down on the front. MaxPax hasn't lost any of his Stalkers just yet. Nice blink away. Looks like the Oracle did go down in the main base. Very similar work accounts. MaxPax 3rd's actually a little bit behind, though. I feel like Classic has done a splendid job of getting himself back into this game despite the probe deficit in the start. He took some really good fights. DT's going to try to run in, though. Where's his Observer? Oh, no, his Observer's out front. He doesn't know about the DTs. Oh, DT's running in and doing massive damage in the natural and the 3rd base. Stalkers at the front as well. Oh man, 9 probes going down. A few Stalkers and Observer go back. This is massive damage though. Just when Classic looked like he had a solid lead for himself, he does take a big hit to the economy. A massive amount of mining time going down here. He's going to have to reset that, send some of those workers back into the main. And MaxPax will just hide this DT up here for the moment. He tries to loop back in. Thinks MaxPax is done scouting for it, but 2 DT kills do go down. MaxPax probing up his third base. Now he's got charge, and his gateway explosion is underway. So supply looks very similar. Army supply is actually larger for Classic, but his gateway explosion is a little bit later. He is going to 8 gateways. Actually, it's not too much later. It's kind of similar. Wow, Classic must have been really behind. He is down 10 workers. MaxPax also moving out to a 4th. MaxPax also has the Forge advantage, which is really big. There are 2 Immortals for Classic. If they can actually connect with the enemy Stalkers rather than Zealots, they'll be very effective. No sentries for MaxPax either, so he doesn't have the value of the Guardian Shield. Gets a Stalker, blinks away. He's still only lost 2 Stalkers this game. But Classic does punish. Nice, blink back. Oh, he gets another Stalker on the escape. 2 probes did go down. Looks like another DT walking in. Oh, a bit sloppy here for Classic. You got to always leave an Observer outside your natural. And look at that. The DT not ready to run away just yet. Grabs a DT. If he gets out with that, Classic will be very annoyed. And the Observer's not giving chase. So indeed he will. 4th base is on the way right now. MaxPax maintaining a 13 worker advantage. He's adding +1. He's continuing to harass with Dark Templar. Warping another one in to run into the natural once more. Feels like MaxPax is building advantages in many different areas, even adding Archons. If his opponent adds a lot of Zealots, Archons will do really well versus that. They also can break the force fields of the sentries. Stalker's running forward. He wants to deny a 4th base at Classic, but he's missed Classic's army move out. MaxPax might be forced to base trade here. Uh-oh, this is a very weird scenario. Classic has a big army advantage, 16 army supply. He might be down on that +1 upgrade, but he's got a very scary force right here, right now. The shield battery gets taken out. MaxPax getting caught out of position like this is a disaster. He's going to start losing production on that base force field. Oh, trapping a bunch of MaxPax Zealots. Really nice positioning by Classic. Hold position on these units as well. He takes down the core, which means no more Stalker warp-ins, only Zealots. And he's going to use this choke point against MaxPax. The force fields can be brutal there. The Stalker's only able to shoot over that a little bit. The gateway will fall here, but as long as that prism keeps warping in more Zealots, this feels incredible for Classic. Classic, the master of positioning. I told you guys you should not count him out. That first game was an anomaly, and it's an anomaly which he is very much eager to prove to you was a one-off. It will not be happening again here. Classic isolating him, and MaxPax is just kind of desperate to stop him getting up that ramp. He'll grab a Stalker or 2, but look at that, another force field. The Zealots can only come up single file. He even puts an end to that. Archons and Zealots trying to be morphed in the back of the base, but he's losing his production right now. The pylon's getting focused down. Another sentry comes in, and yet another force field. MaxPax is just, look at this. He's got to move an Archon over to open the door. The Archon already very low. The Immortals are getting taken out. Oh, he saves one of them at the last second. The Zealots that were over on the right side finally get into the action. Classic is up about 23 workers, but a nice snipe on the Warp Prism stops the Zealot warp in. And that means the tail end of this fight will go very well for MaxPax. Will it be enough, though? Oh, man, he's going to get the Archon. Classic wants that Archon so bad. He gets it. If he can take out a few red hit point Stalkers before he goes as well, that's the dream. He gets one of them. The other one does survive. 21 probes, one base mining, the other base sitting there looking very empty of both production, tech, and mining. Classic, on the other hand, says, okay, just rebuild enough of a force to defend his counter thrust. There's nothing he can do here. MaxPax takes a Nexus and starts building probes. Can you believe it? So I think Classic is thinking there is no way you would ever build probes in this scenario. Like, you have to just build army and try to kill me. But MaxPax is like, I'll try it. He's trying to rebuild gateways, probes, Nexus. But there's so many more units already. Classic can just keep making army go for round 2. The Stalker Zealot is so good at chasing. Stalkers do not get bonus to armored up against the Zealots. There's a battery there, a few Zealots and Immortal. Dark Templar does warp in, the Hail Mary Dark Templar. MaxPax, of course, mascot is a Dark Templar, for those who don't know. That's why we don't have webcams today. It's because, yeah, he's never been seen. So he's literally the real-life Dark Templar. He also happens to be a player who always somehow knows when to build the Invisible Men. They get so much value. He micros them with a lot more detail and understanding of where and when to use them than just about any other player. So it's definitely a funny situation that the guy whose face we've never seen happens to be the king of Invisible Men. DT's coming in. The Zealots will catch it, but Classic didn't notice it, so he doesn't micro his Observer, unfortunately. He is microing his way up the ramp one more time. He's going for round 2 of in the main base. The Zealot Observer is not going up there right now. That DT will start getting damaged, but, oh, Classic bringing back his Wings of Liberty plays. He says, yeah, okay, you killed my Prism, but you're going to lose every Stalker for that. And MaxPax does lose that map. Classic with some fight in him yet. Very well played. All right, going into game 3, a rude awakening after such an easy game 1. Even with that Dark Templar damage, unable to get himself back in that last game. MaxPax down here. I think he was definitely in a good spot, but of course, missing the army moving out and it getting in such a good position, something that Classic used fantastically well. I mean, Classic might have been able to beat him anyway. He had an army supply advantage, but he made it look pretty one-sided with the way he just pushed through positionally, taking it away. And I like that Classic's gone back to 1-gate expand because MaxPax booted up the replay instantly after that game. He was in there and in that replay taking notes, no doubt saying, okay, if he does that same style again, I'll be ready for it. Classic's like, that's fine. I'm just not going to lose my Probe Scout this game. If I do, I'm not going to send my Zealot across the map to scout. And we should be all good. Classic's only on 1 gas so far, as MaxPax is on 2. MaxPax builds the nice early second pylon. So he wants to be able to start a Zealot immediately. Classic, he wanted to go for the Nexus. Now, if he hid that probe, he could have dropped it. So I gotta say, I'm a little surprised by Classic's build here. Cybercore. Oh, Classic Cybercore will be 4 or 5 seconds late there. Too busy microing his probe on the other side. You can tell MaxPax is a lot more calm in this situation than just about any other player. But hey, the Nexus does go down. So that's not too bad for Classic. And he gets a pylon down as well. He's got to keep that probe alive. He has to click that further away. Keep it moving in a straight line so it regens its shields before sending it back in. Does turn that one around, but he's got to make sure that Zealot doesn't land a hit on him. Oh, he's going to go straight back in. He wanted the money from that pylon. But MaxPax has nowhere near 400 minerals. A Zealot does come out and it goes across the map. Stargate does go down. There's an Adept on the way behind that. MaxPax has built a pylon. The function of this pylon is to make it very difficult to wall off the incoming Adept. And he's even building shield batteries here. Whoa! Okay, Zealot's out. Stalker's on the way. I mean, that's a really silly thing to be doing. MaxPax is trying to maybe just jolt him a little bit, give him a bit of a kick to the system. I think Classic will be playing just a Stalker expand, but he needs a second gate. You can't play 1-gate expand in this scenario, especially because MaxPax could technically all in you. So if he goes 1-gate... Oh, he's going to go Stargate, but he does it in the wall. Oh, interesting. As MaxPax, I think Phoenix is the winning play here. I know MaxPax doesn't like Phoenix walls, but if you see their Stargates that late, I think it definitely makes sense. Oh, we should target the Zealot. The Zealot deals a lot more damage than the Adept. But he goes for the Adept, saying, hey, that's the bigger threat. I guess the Stargate's not really in danger of going down either way. Shield battery in the main will be on time. So it looks like it's going to be a double Oracle play from MaxPax. And he's got Warp Gate halfway done. Warp Gate hasn't even started for Classic. So Classic really should start that. There we go. Warp Gate does start. Second Stalker's alive. And, of course, he's up 5 workers. His Nexus is so much faster. Sees an Oracle. Classic with the probe. He sees it's one Oracle. And he sees also that there's a Phoenix coming out behind it. I mean, the Phoenix is still ahead, so MaxPax is still winning the Phoenix war, even though he went Oracle first, which is hilarious. But the economy. Classic can go 3rd gas here. He can just swap into Blink, or just go 2-star Phoenix, much harder than his opponent. Phoenix is going to jump on top. Oh, and he attacks it. He actually kills it with the probe surround. Classic with some fantastic micro, even though we're on Central US. Remember, MaxPax won the coin flip, so he's ahead on that. The probe getting a full scout at the same time, but... Oh, he gets the Oracle, but now he'll lose the Phoenix fight. That is a costly trade, something which he probably should have been ready for. MaxPax does get his Phoenix down into the deep red, though. Now, as Classic, he hasn't taken the gases yet, so... Oh, he's taken him now. He's gonna drop a second Stargate in a moment. Wow. A big, massive economy lead for him. MaxPax going Twilight. Now, the question is, does he feel like he's so far behind he has to just try to sneak out Dark Templar? Or does he think he can just go into Blink behind this? I personally feel like going DTs is a really good way to play when you're kind of behind. Man, that Stargate's so vulnerable. I keep worrying he'll like accidentally A-click it, but he's killing his own gateway right now. Another gateway goes up in the main, and a second Stargate goes down as well. It's 4 Phoenix for MaxPax, 3 for Classic. MaxPax is down 6 or 7 workers, though. The DT Shrine goes down. Okay. So the reason this is really good is because Phoenix players are dumping all their gas into the Phoenix to win that battle. And as a result, they simply... Oh, if Classic gets on top and kills the Phoenix, then he'll definitely prepare for the Dark Templar in the next stage. Ooh, oh my god, nice move by MaxPax. He trades 1 for 1. If he can evade, it pays off in a big way. But right now, Classic, he really needs to be wary because there's no natural detection except Oracles off Stargate play, and there's already a forward pylon coming up. Classic going for the 2 Stargate play. He's going Fleet Beacon. Oh, he's doing everything that is not going to win him this game. Oh, man. I mean, he's so far ahead, but if he does not realize it's DTs, then he will just die. They will walk in and win the game. You just don't have detection. No Forge, no Robo. You can try to Chrono Oracles, but there's no battery. These will get depowered in no time. He's already taken gases on the 3rd. Classic has not scouted in a while. He thinks he's in a Phoenix War. He just saw a bunch of Stalkers. He should realize. He drops a Robo. He drops a Robo, but the DT Shrine's already finished. Classic needs to wall off his base. DTs can warp in there. There we go. The first 2 DTs warping in. MaxPax going for a very intelligent play. There is another pylon at the front, so at least there'll be another pylon powering it, but he's not building an Oracle. It is Classic. Now, Classic's going up to a 3rd versus a 2 base player. He's going to fly in that main. He still has not seen the Dark Shrine. He's about to see it. He sees it. Time to go home, Classic. Time to go home. He walls his base off. Classic with a clutch move. The Phoenix are able to overrun the Phoenix count of MaxPax, but MaxPax with great micro grabs one of the Phoenix kills, gets his Phoenix out of there. The Stargate in the wall is going down. Uh-oh, these guys are going to get in. He's trying to re-wall his base, but oh no, the probe can't get up there in time. Oh no, the DTs get in. He's got to chrono the observers. He started an Oracle. The Oracle will get out in time. He's making sentries. He's going to try and force field the DTs to buy time. A very fancy maneuver. And you know what, guys? Oh, he even shoves the DT out of the way with the probe micro. He clicks the probes on the Robo, gets them out of the way. There's now an observer out. Classic with some sick moves, but he's losing a massive amount of mining time, having to use an observer and all his Phoenix like this. And now the Stalker swap is here. MaxPax playing such an agile style, grabs the ground units. The Immortal production starts. Can Phoenix even win this fight? There's not that much of an overwhelming number of them. MaxPax takes this game out of the ashes, and like a phoenix, he rises from them. He is such a strategic master of knowing when to build the invisible men. Honestly, he is such a god of StarCraft and Protoss, and I think it's so much about his knowledge of knowing when and where to build DTs and get them in there. But despite that, this big Stalker warp in. Classic did get up to 5 gateways in time. He holds on, he defends that army. It's not over yet. In fact, it's nowhere near over. That Nexus is not finished for MaxPax. He does have Blink. He's got more Stalkers. His army is way more flexible than Classic's. Classic Zealot and Sentry ain't going to do much here. The Phoenix picking up the units will make them stand their ground. But then, oh, Classic with Miss Micro. The Zealot Stalker not fighting the way they should be. Probes having to be pulled in. He's walled out of his base. He's Immortal, unable to join the fray. That's why he's struggling right now, is because remember, he had to wall out the DTs, and that means he actually walled himself in as well. One of the Phoenix goes down. A couple of probes get sniped. MaxPax making the most of a very awkward situation, but he's doing it very, very well. Stalker's getting on out of there. Units lost tab at the end of that. You can see well in favor of MaxPax, and he's eliminated the air control of Classic. Classic only has 1 Phoenix. I was about to say, if this is a situation where you actually want to build 2 Oracles and surprise your opponent, and Classic already has the exact same idea. He's actually queuing Oracles across the map on the very edge. He's trying to defend with Stalkers, Immortals, and just saying, okay, if I can just hang on at home for a bit, that'll be good. That Phoenix does take a lot of damage. The Immortals should keep him alive here. Charge is already done for MaxPax, which does do a lot to help eliminate the advantage of the Immortals. Of course, Immortals, for those who don't know, do 2.5 times their damage to armored units like Stalkers. 20 damage versus Zealot or an Archon. 50 damage versus a Stalker without any upgrades. Twilight Council only now goes down. This means Classic doesn't have Blink. He doesn't have a lot of agility with his style. A few cannons to help cement his position would help, but he doesn't really want to invest in that. MaxPax gets the Observer Snipe. An Oracle's going to fly in the main, though. This is going to put a lot of pressure on him. At the same time, MaxPax is going to hit the main with DTs. Oh man, both players are about to do some big damage to each other. The Oracle flies in the third. Classic says, hey buddy, where's your anti-air? MaxPax blinks away, warps in some units at home, already getting 6 of those probes. The 3 Stalkers chasing after him. Classic will run away, but I'm still worried about the DT drop. That was really nice damage. This here could be game-ending damage. There's 1 observer on the map. It's at the front right now, and he does manage to get the observer of MaxPax. But as these DT drop comes in, look at that. 1 DT walks into the third, 1 in the main, and once again, oh man, from behind you, they shank the Dark Templar, the Invisible Men. Nice lift on that DT to stop it escaping, but another 6 probes go down. MaxPax is still down in supply significantly in most of its army, but he's causing so many disruptions, so many curveballs. He is forcing Classic to play out of his mind, and this is really impressive. I'm really just amazed that Classic is still looking like the player he was many years ago when he was winning GSL finals. That DT though, my god, so annoying. That one got a lot of damage. That guy got 4 more kills on top of the other ones, bringing up to a total of 14. Classic is not reprobing. Classic says, well, you know what worked last game? Going and killing my opponent, and I'm going to do the exact same thing right here, right now. The problem is he doesn't have a Warp Prism. Stasis Trap Harass in the main does take out a bit of mining time, nothing else, only freezing 1 probe. Big Stalker counterattack comes in. There is an Immortal and some Zealots there, as well as 2 Observers. They were here on anti-Dark Templar duty. The DT is going to walk in and actually just maybe even fight this. The Stalkers trying to do what they can. Anything to delay the incoming attack is really effective. MaxPax ends up trading basically, I think, a DT and a Stalker maybe for an Immortal, and he's building Disruptors. And Classic's building Phoenix right now. Oh, did he realize there's a Robo Bay? Oh, he did. So he's got the counter to the Disruptors, because what happens is if it fires and you pick it up, it cancels its shot. The trick is to make sure your Phoenix don't get shot down too early before the shots go out. Or you're too careful, you're hiding from the Stalkers, you come in too late and the shot already kills half your army. But it is a giant army advantage, 95 versus 71. On the other hand, though, MaxPax has cannons, he has batteries, he has Archon Stalk, he has Disruptors, he learns his lessons very quickly. It's part of that plastic brain of an 18-year-old Danish prince. He was raised with the finest combat tutors. He's like the kid out of June, man. Classic's like, oi, yeah, you insulted me family, let's have a knife fight. MaxPax is like, mate, you don't realize who you're messing with. That's still a very scary army for Classic. That's a 30 army supply lead, but I worry that the Zealots aren't going to be able to find the surface area. He cancels the 4th. Classic, I don't know, man. This is an awkward scenario. Oh! The first Disruptor shot lands in a big way. One of the Phoenix already goes down. Oh, that's great defense by MaxPax. And at the same time, oh my god, yeah, another Warp Prism DT attack. My god, MaxPax, you are the master of filth. The dirty man himself. I swear, some people, they are afraid of the Sandman. They're afraid of the dark thing underneath the bed at night. I'm afraid of one thing only, and that's an invisible guy hiding behind the curtains in my bedroom, waiting till I'm asleep and then slitting my throat. If he's microed by MaxPax, that's just going to make it even worse. Classic in this game has lost a total of 44 probes, almost all of which were to sneaky Dark Templar backstabs, wave after wave after wave. And every time it does damage, and Classic feels like, oh, well, I can't afford to build cannons. I can't afford to leave an extra observer and a bunch of Stalkers at home. I can't afford to leave my Phoenix at home. I need to go answer that. And MaxPax gets in there again and again. MaxPax, some of his Stalkers do get caught out here. His Disruptor's very far back, but he gets a big boomy on the Zealots. Oh, this is fantastic control by MaxPax. And Classic there, the Phoenix unable to get on top of those Disruptors. I think those Phoenix needed to be in a flanking position rather than coming in from behind the army. But you can just see the beauty of how MaxPax controls this. The Phoenix unable to do anything. And, oh my lord, beautiful play by MaxPax. That was a excellent game by Classic. He handled so many punches. He showed that he is a top-tier PvP player. But there's a reason why MaxPax is the king of PvP in 2022. Such good play.